Bonjour les garçons. Today we are going to discuss la fréquence. In English, frequency. So, what is frequency? Frequency is expressing how often you do things, right? How often you do things. So basically, when you do something a lot, often, always, never, sometimes, these are expressions of frequency. To express that, what do we need? We need adverbs. En français, des adverbes, okay? And this is what we are going to take a look at today. Before we get into the adverbs and everything, I'm going to make a circle that will express in percentage how often we do things. Now, this is just an image. I don't want you to take it too strictly, like if we do it that percentage of time. No, it's just to give you an idea of what I mean by frequency. Let's pretend that you do something between 0 and 25% of the time. I would say that it is fair to say that you almost never do it, right? 0 to 25% of the time. Now, if you do something between 25 and 50% of your time, this is something that you do sometimes, because it is still below 50%. Again, these are approximations. Don't take them like, don't take my word for it. Between 50 and 75%, this is something that you will do quite often, right? And finally, something between 75 to 100% is something that you will do always. So you see these words? These words, never, sometimes, often, always, are adverbs. They are the English adverbs. We will use them with verbs. Like I always eat, I never sleep, I sometimes watch TV, I often go to the park, right? Let me give you the French equivalents. What are we going to use if we speak French? We cannot use never, we cannot use sometimes, often, always, as they are English words. We are going to use the following. Jamais. Parfois. Souvent. Toujours. So these are the French adverbs of frequency, at least the most common ones. Toujours. Let's take a look at this. Very interesting. If you take a look at toujours, you will see that it is based on two words. Tout, all, and jour, days. So all days, always, that is toujours in French. Souvent, often, nothing special about it, souvent. Parfois, meaning literally by times, parfois, by times. We also have the French quelquefois. Quelque means some, and fois, quelquefois, sometimes. They mean the same thing. And finally, jamais, meaning never. Let's take a look at some examples. Jamais. No, first, let's start with toujours. It's easier, I think. Toujours. Je fais, assuming you are a good student, un bon élève, je fais toujours mes devoirs. I always do my homework. Okay? Now, you talk with your really good friend. There is that friend, that classmate that you talk a lot with. Je parle souvent. I often talk. Je parle souvent avec Thomas. I often talk with Thomas. Something that you will do sometimes. Je mange parfois à la cantine. I sometimes eat at the canteen because the canteen is not that good, as we all know, and it's not something you want to do all the time, right? And finally, number 4, I kept it for last because it's a bit special. Jamais. I never watch TV. Let's pretend you hate TV. Je regarde jamais la télé. I never watch TV. If you write this in French, your sentence is incomplete. You will need to add ne. Okay, this works like a negative, like ne pas. So je regarde jamais is incomplete. It's understandable. If you speak, you can say that. But if you write something down, you will need that ne. Okay, so je ne regarde jamais la télé. Of course, if the verb starts with a vowel, it will be an apostrophe. Je n'écoute. I never listen to. Je n'écoute jamais la radio. I never listen to the radio. Okay, so let's take let's take a look at something else. If you take a close look, all the time the adverb is after the verb. Je fais toujours mes devoirs. Toujours comes after. Je parle souvent avec. Souvent comes after parle. Je mange parfois à la cantine. Je n'écoute jamais. Je ne regarde jamais. See, the French adverbs, most of the time, they will go after the verb. This is what I want you to keep in mind. This is all for my lesson of today. So whenever you want to express frequency in French, you will use these words, okay? You will use toujours, jamais, parfois, quelquefois, souvent. Always, never, sometimes, often, okay? And a quick reminder, this is what the sentences look like. Je fais toujours mes devoirs, je parle souvent avec Thomas, je mange parfois à la cantine, je n'écoute jamais la radio, je ne regarde jamais la télé. Merci les garçons, au revoir.